Hey everyone, I'm Jen Brennan, and today we're going to talk about how to flip your classroom. First of all, what is it? Students come into class already prepared with the background knowledge by reading the textbook, but also listening to teacher lectures online. During class, they have the chance to work in collaborative learning groups. They apply what they've learned with curriculum questions, learning to make those connections. And then outside of class, they have a chance to work together digitally, either in an online forum or even just on their cell phones. The perks of the flipped classroom. This is from a survey that I gave my 6th period AP World History class. For the most part, across the board, students like the fact that when they're in class, because they already know the information, they have time to work with their peers, to make connections, to have debates, Socratic seminars, to work on key concepts, and they have multiple perspectives looking in on that. The same concern also across the board was this is very new for some students. They're not used to having to take the initiative to get that background knowledge on their own and come in with it ready to do something. So we will talk about how you can get students ready to do that. The program that I use is called Nimbus. It's very basic. It's nothing fancy. I had never heard of it until I actually Googled it, and it took me about 5 minutes to figure it out. So how do you flip your classroom? Again, I use Nimbus. It's a screenshot app by Google. I found that for how I use the flipped classroom, it works better with internet tabs. So I use Google Slides. I upload a PowerPoint to my drive. It converts it into slides. And Nimbus is easy enough to use. All I do is click the icon, record tab, and the program gives me 3 seconds to put my slides in present mode. And once it opens, I just start speaking. When I'm finished, Nimbus automatically brings up the video. No editing is needed. I just save the file and upload it to my YouTube channel. So I'm portable now. I have access to a variety of resources. I use one textbook as the basis for my PowerPoint. It's the same textbooks that students use for reading. That way, there's a connection between what they see on the screen and what they've already read. I use another textbook to create a script, so students are getting multiple sources. I also suggest getting access to an online teacher support center. It provides chapter outlines, images, maps, and essential questions. So here are some common questions that often come with the flipped classroom. And the first is, won't the flipped classroom minimize my interaction with students? And no, it doesn't. It actually enhances the discourse happening in the room. It allows teachers to focus on teaching students how to ask analytical questions and how to respond with evidence to support their answer, helping students see the various connections between topics. The flipped classroom allows teachers to thoroughly review the various components of essay structures and provide live feedback to essays that are being written in class because now there's time. And with the right seating chart, students form collaborative learning groups and have ample opportunity to work together on graphic organizers, engage in academic conversations, and solve problems. Teachers have the opportunity to guide this conversation. The next question, what if a student does not have access to the internet? And that's a legitimate concern because the flipped classroom requires internet access. Because I use YouTube, though, any device will work. Podcasts are posted a week before they're due. I've also given students a schedule for the year so they know what's due and when, and then they have time to plan accordingly. If a student does not have the internet at home, they have time to use the school or public library, hit up a coffee shop and use their phones and Wi-Fi, or they can stay after school and use the school's Wi-Fi. But if none of these are options whatsoever, I provide students with the script I use for my podcast and a copy of the PowerPoint so they have the same access as everybody else. And finally, where is the accountability? How do I even know if kids are watching the videos? There's always been a concern about students not completing the work they need to complete at home. And the flipped classroom is not a magical cure for this, but there are ways to ensure that students are watching the videos and reading the chapter at home. For the book work, there's a 20-question multiple choice quiz based off of the reading at the end of the week. For lectures, you can have students create an essential question based off the material. You can have them complete a reading check based off of the podcast and what's being said. Students could post a reflection after each podcast, and there can also be Socratic seminars the next day with questions that were previously given to guide the conversation. And if a teacher sees the student is not taking part in the conversation, this can easily be addressed. So I know that was a lot of information, but if you have any questions, come find me or just send me an email. So thanks for listening, everybody.